Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Now, let's look at some of the stocks on the move today here in Europe. I'm Caroline Hepken. I'm joined by Bloomberg reporter Chloe Millay. Good morning, Chloe. So we've got loads of earnings to choose from this morning. So I like the fact that you've chosen an interesting group of stocks to focus in on. Let's begin with Novo Nordisk, trimming its forecast yesterday. But the good news is about its Metsera bid. What's the latest there?
Yeah, absolutely. So a judge denied Pfizer's request to temporarily block the $10 billion bid from Novo Nordisk to buy the obesity startup Metsera. So the judge concluded that Pfizer did not have legitimate complaints about Novo's efforts to outbid it. Pfizer actually did match the offer for Metsera, so it seems that we are now on track for a bidding war that continues to escalate. And although there is no clarity yet on who might win out, it seems that Pfizer's attempts to block the offer, the fact that those attempts have failed is positive for Novo Nordisk. There's another thing as well that might have boosted the shares this morning for Novo. The Trump administration is set to announce a deal with both Eli Lilly and Novo on weight loss drug pricing. That's set to come today, according to CBS News at 11 a.m. in the US. So we'll be keeping an eye on that as well. But it seems that the news on this, on the bid, and the news on this weight loss drug pricing deal seems to be received quite well, and it has helped kind of erase some of the losses that we saw yesterday after Novo had to trim its forecast for the fourth time this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, those weight loss drugs are just absolutely commonplace now, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are.
Although Metsera is only 3 years old as a business, so incredible, really, in terms of the speed of change. Now, let's talk about Legrand shares, down as its third quarter sales missed expectations. This is the French industrial company.
Yeah, so it's a provider of electrical equipment, and why it's interesting is because it provides a lot of that equipment to data centers, and the sales missed for the third quarter because of the slowdown in that data center end market. There had been really a massive boost for that company over the last few quarters. So the company kept its guidance, but analysts have flagged that the fact that it kept the guidance unchanged implies a slowdown in the sales growth in the fourth quarter. So some analysts have called it a reality check, and some have said that a boost to the outlook had been widely assumed, which really explains this disappointment this morning. The fact that there's a slowdown in the data center end market is a real problem for Legrand, because the CEO had said that the entirety of the sales growth in 2025 so far has been driven by data centers, and the rest of the group, the residential and non-residential building end markets, have been quite flat and not very supportive. So it needs those data centers to support growth. And if it looks like that is weakening a little bit, that also spells out potentially some bad news for the rest of that equipment providing sector. So Schneider Electric, for example, although it did actually report really strong sales growth last month, that doesn't bode well for it either.
Okay, let's turn our attention to fashion and clothing. The online retailer Zalando gaining after reporting its third quarter earnings.
Yeah, so third quarter sales came in ahead of expectations. There actually was no upgrade to guidance and no beat on profit. So it was only those sales that actually exceeded expectations. But analysts have noted that just that was enough to make investors quite happy, and the shares did jump quite a bit this morning. It also announced a €100 million share buyback, so obviously that helped as well. All of that is quite interesting for that wider online retail sector. This is obviously a sector that has been dealing with growing competition from the likes of Shein, and also struggling with that softer consumer sentiment. So the fact that the sales are getting better, that there seems to be that boost there, that is spelling probably quite good news as well. We'll see how the rest of that sector does as it continues to report. But Zalando up quite strongly this morning on the back of that.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.